The football offseason has begun. Let the trade winds prevail. We will pontificate on some interesting trades here. It's the Manchild Show with Boy Green Digital live on a Monday right here.
Let's go! It's time for the talk to you. 'Cause sports on the sport, it's all we're gonna do. And Boy Green is always on the scene. And we're gonna always bring to the live streaming. So get ready, ready. Get ready, 'cause here they come.
All right, welcome aboard, everybody. Happy Monday. Manchild Show with Boy Green Digital. It's good to be back, Boy Green. Good to be back on a Monday. It's warming up here a little bit in the greater New York State area. We're up here in central New York. 40s today. Oh, God. The icicles were melting off my house yesterday. And it feels like, hey, spring is kind of coming, but I don't want to get too crazy because we know there's still a bludgeon coming our way in terms of snow and ice and cold. But it's looks like we're going to have 4 or 5 40-plus days here in central New York. So that's exciting in the middle of February. And that just means one thing. We're getting a little bit closer, dare I say, to the springtime, which we all look so forward to in these northeast regions where we get the cold and we get the snow. Yes, sir. You're going to say?
Quick question here. I don't know if it's just me, so I want to see if anyone else is, you see on all the houses and the stores and the restaurants, the big icicles that hang off the roofs.
Yes.
Yeah. Lurch, those I imagine are on your house prior to this melting situation.
They all melted off yesterday, to be honest with you. There's almost none left in my house today, but yeah.
Okay, before it started melting and you saw them out there, did you ever want to knock them down? Did you ever want to do anything?
I do knock them down.
Okay, and how do you knock them down? Because, roofs are very high. Well, how do you knock them down?
Well, I get them, first place I get them is off my garage roof. And a couple of years ago, I didn't clear them, as I normally do. I backed the car out of the garage because I typically park in the garage. And as I backed out, I nicked the lower end of the icicles, and a bunch of them broke off and slammed on the roof of the car. Well, I can tell you, Boy Green, it left permanent dents on the roof of my car. That's how heavy those icicles were. So I have all these ping marks. Go look at my car the next time you see it. You'll see these little ping marks on the top of my car. Look, I didn't scratch it up, but it dented it pretty good. Like, I got some dings, man. I'm like, what the hell? Right? So then, of course, I cleared them off. So now, after that happened, it is a ritual. So as soon as they get to a certain length, I go out there with a shovel and I just hit them at the base and shake them down, and then I shovel them off because they're pretty slick. Someone could slip on them, so you got to shovel them off and get them off the driveway. So that's my norm. Off the top of the house, there's really nothing I can do. I mean, I'm not taking any big ladders and going up there. I'm not getting killed and knock a few icicles down. But they go off the rear of my house, which is 2 stories high, and McKee goes out on the deck, which is on the back of my house.
Sure.
Sometimes to do his business, dare I say, especially when the snow gets deep. He kind of does his business on the deck, and then I scoop it up and get rid of it. So long story short, I was scared the last 2 days as I saw the icicles getting longer and longer to send McKee out on the deck, or at least I would go out and supervise, go out, put my jacket on. I have to love to do that in the winter, but take him out there, or just go take him for a walk where it's safe, because he goes out there and he's hanging near the edge of the house, waiting. The door hangs right, like when he's waiting to come back in, he's standing directly below the icicles. If one of those icicles comes down, it's bye-bye McKee. I mean, my little 20-pound Kayvon is going, Daddy, I'll see you in heaven. I mean, that's it, man. My dog is toast. So so I've been really cognizant of that too, seeing those giant icicles on the back of my house and going, all right, that's a little bit of a danger for McKee. So yesterday we took him out for a walk. I checked before I let him out last night, kind of stood near like I'm guarding the icicles, like I'm going to get killed to save the dog. I'm down there like, all right, I'll be coming down here, and then when he's done, all right, get back in the house quick, because I don't want one of those icicles to come down. Of course. Fearsome, man. Those things are dangerous, man.
They seem very dangerous.
Very dangerous. Yes, absolutely.
Here's the thing, Lurch. I don't know if it's just me. So hopefully I say this story and there's more people in the comments that immediately rush to my side, or they're just going to say I'm crazy. But I have this primal urge inside me every time I go out. I live in basically it's a 2-story building. So these icicles that are on the roof coming down and I'm vertically challenged. So probably in a normal situation, I also couldn't reach them. But in this particular scenario, I have like sort of this man versus ice thing in my head.
Okay.
I see these icicles. I want to take them down like some protector thing for the family. I want to take them down, but obviously I can't reach them. So what I've been doing over the last couple of weeks as they've grown longer and longer and longer is I'm grabbing like snowballs and packing them with ice and like a quarterback throughout the fair going, "Huh, huh, huh," and trying to chuck it and see if I could start like getting them down.
Is it working?
And it's working sometimes.
Only on the small ones. The big ones,
exactly right. I have a massive one. We'll see. I don't know if it's still out there. I haven't gone out there this morning. I have a massive one that's like at least 8 or 9 feet, and it's like the thickness of a trunk. I don't even know how it happened. And so every time I've gone outside, like I'm not saying I'm going outside to do this. I'm going outside for some other task. And then I make eye contact with the ice. I'm like, son of a, all right, let me get 5 minutes in here. Hua, hua, hua. And I try it, and I'm like, and I'll just go like, and then I'll just go inside. But like my fiance and my children, like when I'm about to go take them to a restaurant, I'll see it again and go like, hey guys, I'll be right back. Hua, hua, hua. And she's like, Jesus, honey, get in the car, drive away, stop doing it. So every time I see it, I want it. And here's the other thing, Lurch. Now that you're right, that it's melting, it's making me angry. Because Lurch, I want to be the one that took out the icicle. I don't want icicle. Yeah. Do you know anything about the samurais?
Oh yeah. Oh sure. Yeah.
So there's a term called Bushido. I took a samurai class at SUNY Oswego, a very informative class.
Oswego had a samurai course. Wow.
Yeah, and it reached deep into Japanese history. And it was very interesting. And there's a word of the samurais. It's called Bushido. It's where the samurai admits defeat and there's a seppuku, and he basically kills himself with his own sword as part of the Yonker tradition. I take myself out. So there's a seppuku nature of it. And I feel like if the icicle melts and falls down to its own death, it's taking itself out instead of me taking it out. I want to deliver the final blow to take down this icicle. But again, it may have already done its own job. So I attempted to take it down yesterday with a bunch of snowballs. That was ineffective. So yeah, that's a big thing. It's been a primal thing. Again, not sure if anyone else thinks about that at all. Is it just me? It's very possible it's just me. But I just wanted to see that out on the audience.
I think that primal urge is very prevalent with a lot of people.
Yeah. Okay.
Definitely.
Good. All right. I feel a little better about that.
Especially within the male community. I think we're very,
right.
That like we always want to conquer, don't let it beat us kind of thing. So no, I quite enjoy knocking down the icicles. Luckily I have a bunch of them that are low. And the only ones that are high on my house, just because of the structure of my house, are the ones in the rear of the house, and they're way too high. I mean, they're way off the ground, coming off the second floor. So there's no way for me to get them. I don't have to extend myself out a window or something and with a long pole, like poking them. So and I'm not going up on a ladder in the winter. That's not happening.
And I got to be careful because here's like a dumb thing I'll admit that I've done before in the past. Like there's been a fly that's been bothering the house. And I'm trying to swat it all day in the house. And then one time I think I finally got it and I whack it and I break the window because I swatted it too hard and on the glass, and the fly was there and I broke the window, and I'm an idiot. This time, right, we have icicles. We're outside the house. I've got windows all right there. I don't want to throw a heater, throw a 90-mile-per-hour fastball.
You don't even get the icicle and you bash a window. That's not good.
Right, exactly. So, because, we have shovels and stuff, so I could, try to whack it like a piñata, but I don't want to smash a hole through my window like an idiot and be like, geez, what a moron. I'm doing Clark Griswold stuff out here. So, anywho, that's neither here nor there, but, want to get that out there.
Fascinating. Okay, well, now that we're done with icicle talk, welcome everybody. Manchild Show with Boy Green Digital at MC Show Digital is our YouTube handle. And if you're not already a subscriber, we would love for you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We've got a growing community there. We're approaching 600 subscribers, so we're almost at another landmark as we forge our way towards 1,000+ subscribers. There's a lot of cool things going on with the channel these days. Number one, we have some brand new sponsors. We've been mentioning them. You see right above me, Northeast Roofing Professionals is now our title sponsor. They are the roofing professionals right here in Central New York. If you live in the greater Central New York area, especially DeWitt and Fayetteville areas, you want to get in touch with our friends at Northeast Roofing Professionals if you need some work done on your roof, or if you're looking to replace your roof. Those guys will totally hook you up up. I'll give you their web address. It's nerpcny.com. Very easy to get them. We were all last week promoting the Allen Floral Group and the Valentine's Day flowers. So I hope everybody decided to get something for their sweetheart, if you have one, for Valentine's Day, as I did. It was a big, big hit when it was delivered to the house. Not expected. So very, very cool stuff. And so that was awesome to do that as well. And Boy Green knows, and I don't know, Boy Green just got bounced out of the room. I'm sure he'll be back here in a second. But Boy Green knows that indeed I have been working behind the scenes, and I mentioned it a few times on our Manchild show with Boy Green Digital Shop, our little storefront, which we are now allowed to promote and put out there to our YouTube audience. I think we will likely launch our new storefront on Wednesday during the live show on Wednesday.
Great.
We will essentially be, quote, open for business. We will provide the link for you. And I've already created 4 products, Boy Green. We have 4 products currently in our Manchild show with Boy Green Digital Shop. So you can buy at this point 1 of 4 products, and they're pretty cool. We'll unveil the products. Maybe we'll show some pictures. And if people want to support us in that way by, dare I say, partaking in a little merch, we've got some pretty cool logos for the 12th Manchild. You see that 12th Manchild thing floating right below me there, and it flies in and out. That's the name of our VIP group. So you can now join our little army of VIPers.
Scrolling ticker.
Yeah, very, very cool. There you go. Membership's available right there. We call our group the 12th Manchild. As a matter of fact, I got an interesting question this week, Boy Green. Let's just decide this on the air, right?
Wow. All right.
So, somebody said to me the other day, I ran into somebody that watches the YouTube show now.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
And they said to me, so I see you have this thing called the 12th Manchild, which is your membership. Join the 12th Manchild, become a member, support the channel.
YouTube community. Yep.
YouTube community. He said, but what do you call all of your members, regardless of whether they have a member, an exclusive membership or not? What do you call? And I was like, good question. Nothing. We don't have a name. We should have a name, should we? We should have a name for our viewers. We should have a name for our gang, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I was thinking about it. And what do you think of this? Just let's spitball some ideas here.
Okay.
Before we get
all right. Well, right off the top, the 12th man children, you have a bunch of
man. I don't know. I was like, I don't like the man children thing. People have proposed that to me before, and I was just like, yeah, I don't know if people want to be called children. I mean, a lot of the people that watch us and follow us are not children, but I guess
that's true.
Kind of weird. I feel like I'd be like procreating here. I'd be having babies, and they'd all be little man children walking around. That's kind of creepy to me. So I didn't want to go down that route. So I thought maybe this one. You wear that BG on your hat. Currently, I have NY, but I'm thinking about like you, maybe at least occasionally. I've got a prototype hat already.
Ooh, cool.
That I've been wearing a little bit in some of our videos. I started wearing it last week. It came in, and it's just our essentially our 12th Manchild logo.
Right.
But I also thought you have the BG. Maybe my hat should say MC, right?
That
and
would
then
make
maybe
sense.
we call our crew MCBG Nation. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe when we welcome them in every morning, we say, "Hey, welcome all of the members of MCBG Nation." I don't know.
I like it. Nation
easy. I love the nation thing. Part of a nation. Yeah. So I don't know. We should spitball it, but it was a good point made by a viewer. Yeah. Said like you should have a name for your people. Your peeps should have a name. He said,
so an overall name.
Thing, I get the VIP thing, but what about for everybody? And I was like, you know what? You're right. We should be more inclusive. Them all, right? So what should we do? So look, if anybody has any suggestions, throw them in the comments today.
I see we have one. Matt from Auburn says the MC Show Maniacs. Alliteration perhaps is the way to go. So if it's some MCBG thing, but okay, what's that other word? Maybe it's nation, or maybe there's an M word or a B word or something. I don't know.
Yeah, okay. See, I was thinking, first thing that popped in my head was MC Nation, but then I feel like I'm not including you, and we have this unfortunately big giant name because there's two of us,
it's a lot
and
of
we both have nicknames, so there's just no avoiding it, Right. So I would also like to figure out a way to include both of us in the name.
Ooh,
so
the BGs, Q Jet Man, the BGs, Boy Green BGs. I like that. If BGs can work in there, yes, okay. Now there you go.
Look at
Now
these
we're
great
getting creative.
suggestions coming in. Yeah, people throwing down. All right, people, keep the suggestions coming all show long, and maybe we could take some combination of what you're throwing out there. That's very interesting, you know?
That's very creative. I like that. Nice job,
Strictly a band I used to see when I was here in Syracuse, when I was at Syracuse University.
Yeah.
And remember, we tracked down the lead singer, and now, what was his name? Oh my gosh. The band's name was the United Booty Foundation. Okay. They played all disco music. Yeah. And it was blank and the United Booty Foundation. And the blank was the lead singer who later joined our show on the radio out of the blue. And then I was like, are you that guy? And then he was like, yes. I was like, I used to go see your band at this place called Stylene's in downtown Syracuse, which is no longer there. When I was in college at Syracuse, I used to hang out there on Friday nights and go listen
United
to some,
Booty Foundation.
United
Wow. So I found this. Wow. They have a whole pledge and everything. One booty, indivisible, under. Wow. This is a whole thing. I didn't even know this was real. I just Googled that. Wow. Okay.
So,
interesting.
I kind of see. Let me see. I'm just doing a little quick Googling here.
Sure.
See if maybe it pops up. I mean, boy, they were around for a long time.
Kuka Jet Fence, the MCBGs. Yeah, maybe there is a way to morph those two babies. Okay.
Right.
All right. I like the creativity, but that's what we're talking about. So again, named by the people, it's even better, right? We talk about all the time the Manchild nickname that Lurch received, the Boy Green nickname I received. I didn't come up with it. He didn't come up with it. The nickname was bestowed. So perhaps the best name is the one that'll be from the audience. You guys bestow yourselves some name. That's how the Boy Green Coffee Club became a thing.
That's
so maybe
true. You had told me that story. I couldn't believe that. I was like,
100% true.
I mean, it makes total sense. You're on at 7:30 in the morning.
Yeah, right.
Coffee club. I mean, who isn't, pounding some coffee or something at that time of the morning or a 5-hour, drink or whatever they call it,
Sure. Yeah. 5-hour energy.
5-hour energy. I don't know. Is that passe now? Is that even still out there? The 5-hour energy?
Anymore? I don't know. I never did the 5-hour energy thing, but
you ever pound like Rockstar or Monster? I know they're still all out there. I know Monster.
Yes, they're. Yeah, speaking because we're just talking about college and stuff. I think that was off air. Like there had been times where I'm like, "Hey, man, I need to bang out this paper or whatever it is," and I don't do drugs. So the next best thing is an energy drink in that form of drug, of doing a Monster or a Red Bull or a Rockstar or something like that to like zoe, like electricity. Here we go. I'm in. There you are. So I've done a few of those in college, but I haven't done them since.
The Manchies.
Okay,
the Manchies. I don't know. That's
Manchies. Okay.
I was thinking like manatees.
Yeah.
You could go that way, maybe. Manatee.
Right, maybe.
I don't know. It's got to roll. These names, they have to roll off the tongue and it has to be very natural and people have to kind of get it. So if you get
it is complicated.
It is complicated. We have that very
Boy
complicated
Green. How do you...
Everything that we've done since we've moved this show now to YouTube has been complicated because of our name. We don't want to change our name. We've existed in some form in this thing. I've been known as the Manchild for over 30 years, so I'm not suddenly going to get a new nickname. All right. Yeah. And, as people that know the story know, in case you don't, I'll clue you in really quick. All right. But, Paul came and worked for me. First, he was my student in college, and then he came an intern for me, and then became a producer, and then eventually became the co-host with me. But when he was an intern, way back when he was a little tiny,
11 years ago,
right? I told him that typically what I used to do around the studio was we always had a few interns every semester, and I tried to always give them little nicknames so that it was kind of fun on the air. There's a Red, hey Red, with today's update. And Red was just a nickname for a guy. So we always had names, and the names always made sense based on the person's personality or their physical traits or something.
Sure.
Yeah. And so then, you were there, and I said, "Yeah, I gotta come up with a nickname for you, kid." And you were like, "Hey, I got a few ideas." Like, no, you don't.
Yeah, right.
Ideas. Let me explain the whole nickname thing to you. Other people give you a nickname. You never give yourself a nickname. I didn't give myself Manchild. Okay, other people gave it to me. You have to. That's the way a nickname is acquired. Other people look at you, they see something, they call you something, and then it sticks. So I was like, all right, I need something for this kid, and then folks, the way he looks today, He's probably in almost not even the full regalia today, but the way he looks today is the way he looks all the time. He always has green on him. Look, he's got Gotham City, right? There's a
got
Jet,
shirt
logo.
I mean, you get
Jet boxers on
sweatpants
today. You're wearing your Jet boxers,
They are.
Jet
Can't
socks.
confirm.
You have Jet socks today.
I do. Yes.
Yeah, you do have Jet socks. See, like, folks, if we literally had him show every piece of clothing, like 9 out of the 10 pieces of clothing that he's wearing will have Jets or Boy Green or something green on it. All right.
Confirmed.
So he was showing up to the studio every time he interned, several times a week with all this green. I was like, do you wear any color besides green? Like, I would just make fun of him. And so I was like, I got to come up with a name. It's got to have something to do with green. And so I came up, Paul's he's a little guy. He's not the tallest guy in the world. So I came up with Boy Green. It made sense. Boy Green. And then a nickname was born. And at the time he was like, what? I don't know about this. And then next thing you know, he embraced it. And now he's turned it into his own thing. So yeah, you told me that story about how
the coffee
you were doing your show in the early genesis. How far into, because your show's been on the air about 5 years, a little more than 5 years. So when did that start? When did the group who started to join you and discover that you were out there, that you were doing Jet stuff from the lovely confines of your house, covering the Jets, doing what you love every day, and they came up and said, hey, we're going to call ourselves the Boy Green Coffee Club? I think that's just a fascinating little story.
Believe it or not, hopefully it doesn't take us this long. It took 3 years for
3
them.
years. Wow. Quite a while.
So they were just showing up and being a part of the shows and commenting, somewhat,
But all cards on the table. When you launched, and you confirm this, okay? I don't want to put words in your mouth.
Right.
When you launched your Boy Green show, okay?
Yeah.
What did you even call it in the beginning? Was it Boy Green Daily, or what'd you even call it? You didn't call it anything, probably, right? It was just
no. This when this YouTube channel started 6 years ago. No, I did not call it Boy Green Daily. I did.
Yeah.
Not.
So he just had hey, I'm Boy Green and I'm talking Jets, and really even having
it.
No. So where was I going with that? I just lost my train of thought. Good grief. Oh man. Darn.
About the Boy Green Coffee Club. Yeah.
Yeah. So, what I was going to say is, it may have taken 3 years, but when you launched your show,
I see what you're
eventually
saying.
to become Boy Green Daily, you just wanted to just be out there talking Jets. Like,
that's it.
Your first 50 shows, you probably had your mom, your dad, your cousins, your aunts, your uncles, and 2 friends that were really close to you that wanted to waste their time looking at you on the screen and talking about the Jets. And there was no intent there. You just had a desire to do this. That's it. The platform was there, and you're like, I'll try this. I'll try this. Yep. And I'm sure that did any time along the way did doubt creep in? Did you say, like, I don't know if I should keep doing this? Did you ever feel that or no?
No, and the reason why it didn't, I guess, is because my genesis of entering it was not to make any money from it.
Right.
It was just to have a place to speak about it.
Totally.
And then as the subscribers and stuff started to grow, and then money came in, I'm like, I could get paid for this? I'm like, sweet. And then so the reason why I quit, I could understand if someone started a YouTube channel and they're trying to make money, and that's the reason they made the YouTube channel. And as they're going through it, and then as they hit those lulls of things that are happening, that they're like, geez, maybe I should want to quit this. So no, I never thought to quit it, because I didn't do it for the money. I did it for just people listening to my blathering about the New York Jets. But so I guess to your point, it was 3 years, but like once the morning show started up every morning at 7:30, it probably came together very quickly that as people just started gathering, once they learned that the show was at 7:30 every day, they would come in the room because the video is already created at 7 o'clock, 7:15, and they're literally sipping their coffee as they're talking to other people that are also waiting in the room for the show to start. And then they called themselves the Boy Green Coffee Club. So yeah, they named themselves. I didn't say anything.
Yeah. All right. Jamie chiming in. So I guess some old schoolers are still out there. How do you think I survived doing his FedEx stuff? Red Bull and 5-hour energy shots. Oh boy, that's not good.
I'm not sure how healthy that
is. Not good for you. Okay, I will put that out there. If you're young, I suppose. Okay. Yada yada. All right. Good. More names coming in. Keep them coming, folks. Keep them coming.
Yes,
we'll pop some more of these up a little bit later. But we're seeking kind of a name for our crew. You people, everybody in the audience and beyond. What do you want to be called?
Reference yourself, show? Even. Yeah, right.
So like literally every morning, we say, hey, good morning, welcome to, welcome blanks. There you go. And we're trying to do something that incorporates both of us. So if you could find a way to do that, I would like the name to be inclusive. It's tricky with the double name and how long it is and so on and so forth.
Right.
But
So I'm open to ideas, whatever you guys think. And yes, again, so the coffee club named themselves. I didn't come up with that name. It was all them. And then it just picked up steam. Someone said it.
Gotcha.
And Jared B says Uncle Tio, who is a viewer of the show, he named it that. And maybe it was him. I don't know who it was, but whoever it was, all of a sudden it picked up like wildfire.
Everyone, yeah, let's just do this.
Yeah, exactly. And then they didn't even ask. They just named it. And I said, wow, I should probably switch my stupid YouTube membership when I decided to make that to the coffee club, because that's what they called themselves. And again, it was awesome. So thank you to the fans.
So look, we're going through the same growing pains, but I think, I mean, I've talked to Paul a lot about this transition from, radio and mainstream media to YouTube now and what we do. And, I've said, like, this has a different element to it. And I love that people feel like they're part of something, that we're building a community of people. Now nearly 600 people have committed to say, hey, I want to know when these guys are putting out videos. So I'm going to click that subscribe button and be part of that kind of thing, and there have been a select few others who have said, you know what, and I want to support these guys too, by having, a membership and supporting the channel and making sure they hang around, and that it's worth their while in some way, and that maybe we could expand this and do even more and have more fun experiences together. So I love that. So I love the idea that your group named itself. So maybe that's the way this is going to happen. Maybe it's just going to happen beautifully.
Naturally.
But we're on the fast track. I don't want to wait 3 years. Okay. So I'd rather get to this sooner rather than later. I'm willing to wait a couple weeks, but to wait 3 years is not happening. Otherwise I'm just going to proclaim you a name. But I would rather, maybe it comes from somebody in our audience. So please, suggestions are open. I'll continue to remind you about this until we really get something on the table. Like, yeah, you got it. Somebody absolutely nailed it. A long time ago, I did a contest, on the radio when I got my first real dog. I've had family dogs for years and years, but my first personal dog was Mookie, who is 5 feet away from me, sleeping on the floor, as he does every day I do the show. And Mookie, I got this little white puffy dog, and I was just like, okay, I really want to come up with a good name. And I brought it to the airwaves, and I said, all right, we're going to have a contest. I forget what I gave away. I gave away an autographed football or something. And I said, all right, whoever comes up with the best name, if I pick it, you're getting this autographed football courtesy of the radio show. And so people started submitting names. It was great. People were emailing in, people were calling in, and I was just writing names down. And there's a picture of Mookie. And at the time, there was a player playing for Syracuse basketball. His name was Mookie Jones. And he didn't play much, but he was very popular. He was the guy on the bench that everyone cheered for when there was a blowout, put in Mookie.
Right.
Plus, everybody knows I'm a Mets fan. Mookie Wilson, of course, is a very famous Mets Mets player, excuse me. And obviously, in the modern day now, Mookie Betts is out there too. So there are some famous Mookies, dare I say.
Yeah.
But Mookie Jones was the genesis by this person, because it was a local person here in Central New York who followed Syracuse basketball that made the suggestion. And so he won it. So same thing. So we had a contest for Mookie. So let's have some.
Maybe a contest.
I'll offer a prize. Maybe I'll offer a prize.
Oh, okay,
cool. I'll have one today because I've just been spitballing on this thing, and someone just happened to bump into me in the store yesterday who watches the channel and said, "You ought to have a name for your people." And I was like, that's a good idea. You're right. Why don't we have a name for our people? So
bring back a contest. That's cool. Incentivized. I like it.
We'll do that. That'd be fun. I mean, give away something cool. So I got lots of cool things here to give away. So, okay, enough of that. All right. So let me do this, Boy Green. Let me just hit the reset button here for a minute. So again, we're presented today by Northeast Roofing Professionals. Today's video is brought to you by our friends at Bayberry Automotive. Let's take 30 seconds, learn a little bit more about our friends at Bayberry. When we come back, we will hit the reset button. We will get into some hardcore sports. You have got a thing for me. Tell people what we're going to do before we go out to break here. Go ahead.
Yes. So earlier today, ESPN's Bill Barnwell, who is the trade aficionado, loves projecting trades and saying, hey, here's, with the NFL league year less than a month away, here's some trades that he believes are realistic. They could happen. It's not like Patrick Mahomes for a taco. He believes actual trades that could happen and players that could actually be moved. And what would they be worth based on history of trades and things of that nature? So there's plenty of trades involving my Jets, Lurch's Giants, the Bills, and other big names in the sport. He projected a lot of them, and what me and Lurch are going to do is present them on screen so you guys will see them and you guys can react in the comment section as we're going through them, whether it's a good trade, bad trade, good for this side, bad for this side, and we're going to grade them and rate them and react to them. Yeah.
And I have seen none of these. So this is going to be total gut reaction for me. I have not prepped at all. I told Paul, if you want to do this, I want to do it. I don't want to prep. I just want it to just smack me in the face and just see what my immediate reaction is. So we'll see how that all plays out. I think it'll be a fun little bit. All right. 30 seconds from our friends at Bayberry. We're right back. And then we'll do this fun trade scenario situation here as we are in the NFL offseason. Be right back.
Trust is everything when it comes to auto repairs. At Bayberry Automotive, they take trust seriously. Bayberry has a team of experienced and certified mechanics that are dedicated to providing exceptional customer service. And Bayberry stands behind its work with an exceptional 5-star rating from its many satisfied customers. Family run, integrity in everything. Bayberry Automotive, BayberryAutomotive.com.
Located on Route 57 across from Bayberry Plaza, the premier choice for auto repair in Liverpool.
Manchild Show with Boy Green Digital. And by the way, Boy Green, I don't think we've had one yet. We've had some gifted memberships. We've had some people buy memberships. I don't think we've had a super chat yet. Does somebody out there want to be our first ever super chat? Right? How does a super chat work? Again, these are all completely foreign to me. How do you do that?
Yes. So a couple of things here. First off, we're streaming live in 3 different places. The MC Show Digital YouTube channel, which you see right there below us. My YouTube channel, @BoyGreen25, and my Twitter account, @BoyGreen25. We stream live, and you guys can always rewatch the shows on YouTube, which we appreciate. If you're watching on YouTube, go over to youtube.com/@MC Show Digital. You may be watching on my YouTube right now. Jump over to the MC Show Digital version. And if you're watching on YouTube, there's a little money sign in the bottom of the comment section. You have all little options there. There's a little smiley face emoji. There's a money sign. You click the money sign, all these options pop up. Super stickers, super chats, gift channel membership. So super chat is a colorful message that stands out from the crowd. And it can be,
I've seen them.
yeah,
really cool.
It can be $1, $2, $5, $10. It can be as much or as little or as much as you want. And you could say a message. A message could be something as simple as "Love you guys, enjoy the show," or it could be a question that you guys want us to. So let's say we're going through one of these trades in a second. You're like, boy, this is a perfect trade. The Jets need to do this, and you share your opinion or take in that super chat message, and you launch it out to us. Or it could be something completely off script. Maybe you have something to say about icicles, and you just want to throw that on there. We'll bring it up on the show. The one thing I don't think we've determined, Lurch, is a membership gets gifted. People are going to hear this magical little tune. Let me make sure I have the audio all the way up.
Hell yeah.
That's cool. And on my channel, it's this when you get a membership.
Mr. Draft.
Now, that makes a lot of sense. The Jets are going to be forever tied to the draft. But when a super chat gets played, my daughter Zariah Luna, in an off-cuff moment when she woke up one morning and came over to the desk while I was still doing the show, I said, "Hey, do you have anything you want to say to the people?" And she, for those who don't know, and I've only talked about it a couple of times, she struggles with speech. That's been one of her things that she's been going through in her life. And so she doesn't talk very often, or it's all, sort of mumbled, garbled jumbo. I don't know what the hell she said half the time. But she leaned. Yeah, right. And she leaned into the mic on a live show and went, "Wow." And that's the first time she's ever said wow. And I was like, holy, oh my God. And my dad was on the show and it was this cool thing. And people loved it. So he clipped that. And every time a super chat comes in, you hear her first ever wow. And it's just cool. Again, another organic moment. What we haven't determined yet is whenever we get this super chat, Lurch, what the hell are we going to play? What's the new tradition here? The hell yeah is for memberships. What's it for super chats, huh?
I don't know, but we've got all those cool clips, and we're still building our clip library. So I think temporarily I just pick one of the clips, which we have some really cool clips. Yeah. So those are awesome. So
all right,
we'll pick a cool clip.
Well, we got to figure it out right now, Lurch, because we have a couple of super chats coming
in.
No
way.
Here. First off, let's go to Johnny Boy.
Johnny Boy
says,
in there.
All right,
Lurch.
All right, and we have another super chat coming in. But Lurch, first off, pick a video.
It's up to you. Beautiful. Lurch.
Okay, go ahead. Lurch, you got to play a video. You tell me.
Okay, I'll pick it.
Try a shoe on for size. Yes.
I'll pick it. Oh,
there you go.
Yeah.
Give me something.
Johnny Boy's a cool dude. All right, I got to pick something cool for him.
Okay.
Oh, man. Okay. All right, I'm going to go with this one. Here we go.
You know you need a cover sheet on your TPS reports, Richard. That ain't new, baby.
Hey, Terry.
Hey, Janice. Mother.
Love that, Terry Tate. Fantastic.
That's a good one. We'll get another one ready, Lurch, because we have another super chat. $2 super chat from Johnny Boy. This $2 super chat from Troy Sturgis, who says, good show, Lurch.
All right, I'll go to Happy Gilmore for this one.
The price is wrong, bitch.
Yeah.
That's a hilarious. That would be.
That one's for you, Troy. Love it.
That Troy. I mean, that I'm not gonna lie. That would be a hilarious one to have. That is funny.
All right,
so,
thanks
by
for
the
breaking
way,
the ice on that. That's awesome. Thank you, people.
Thanks
Always
for the super
appreciate your
catch, Johnny Boy.
generosity. I was when Jake Asman was down at the Super Bowl. I was watching a lot of his content because he was having really cool guests and stuff, and so I was getting into Jake's show and the people he was talking to, and I was like, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get in on this. Like, I got to get in. I got to do some things. So I jumped in under our MC Show digital handle, and I bought a membership. I became an Asmaniac, as he calls his members. And I was like, how do I couldn't figure out how to super chat, and it's just that little $sign. So I was trying to figure out how I could super chat in there and say something, because he was, of course, when you have a lot of subscribers, and Jake has been around for a while and he has a lot of subscribers, he's getting a lot of people in the comments. So you want to stand out if you want to get mentioned or you want to say something. And so that's a great way to do it, is you jump into a super chat. And then a lot of times because we see it in color and it pops up, we read it very, very quickly. What is that?
Lurch, we have breaking news in the NFL. Whoa, I don't know what is our go-to thing in here for breaking news. I'm still learning all of our buttons on this side. Let me see. Well, for now, it'll be this very weird sound.
Okay.
That's a terrible breaking news sound.
Breaking news.
The Miami Dolphins have cut Tyreek Hill. He is now a free agent.
Wow.
He has been released by the Miami Dolphins. It's the first time in his NFL career he's ever been an unrestricted free agent. I thought for sure they'd be able to trade him. Apparently not. So we could talk about where he could potentially land, whether it's a reunion with the Kansas City Chiefs, potentially. He could reunite with his old coach, Mike McDaniel, with the Chargers. They need another wide receiver out there. So, oh, baby, there you go. Breaking news in the NFL. Tyreek Hill is a free agent.
Green rather than that buzzer. How about something
like give me.
No, that sounds a little more
Congas, okay.
Or how about
Bongos, maybe? A heart. Oh, wow. That is sort of gets you on the edge. So maybe that's that.
You just want to be blunt? Just be a gong.
Oh, a gong. Okay. All right. That's very boom, abrupt. Hey, everybody, there's news.
Oh,
bang.
gong also has a long lifespan.
There's a reverb there. Yeah, for sure. Okay. So I think
we'll get something fun. We have had a lot of breaking news since we've been doing the show digitally. So we need something really cool there. All right. Maybe something from Anchorman. I think I got to find something from Anchorman. Okay. That'd be really cool.
Which again, he does have that bit at the beginning of the movie. Stop what you're doing. I have an urgent message. So that would make a lot of sense. So maybe we should just cut that up.
Good. I have an urgent message for all of you. Yes.
Yes. So that may be the hilarious one to use. So we'll see. And yes, as Johnny Boy also said earlier today, they're releasing Bradley Chubb, another the player they traded a first-round pick for. He's a pass rusher. So he's also out there in the universe. So Lurch, you can give us a quickie on where you think he could land. I will say this for old Yankees messaging this in, Garrett Wilson and Tyreek Hill. Could you imagine? Well, the funny history of that is, and I just wrote a piece about this for one of the trades we're going to talk about here in a second, but Tyreek Hill in, 2022? So in 4 years ago, Lurch, the Jets reached an agreement with the Kansas City Chiefs to trade for Tyreek Hill. But so the Chiefs and Jets did a handshake for the deal. But what the Chiefs said is, we want to work out a trade with one other team after the Jets, and then we'll let Tyreek pick. He can pick wherever he wants to go as long as we work out compensation. But the Jets were first, interestingly. Then they talked to the Dolphins. Dolphins get a package. Now it's up to Tyreek Hill. He can either go to the Dolphins or Jets. Chiefs have agreed on compensation for both teams. They don't care where. He can pick wherever he wants to go. Tyreek Hill picks the Dolphins, and the Jets obviously don't get him. What the Jets end up doing instead is drafting Garrett Wilson. So with what they would have done to get Tyreek Hill, they ended up with Garrett Wilson, which, by the way, worked out a lot better for the Jets. So blessed be he. But it would be a weird plot twist of history that you could get both of them on the same team. I don't think he's going to, with all due respect, I don't think he's going to want to come to the Jets. The Jets don't have a quarterback.
Yeah, it's kind of a mess.
He could go to Patrick Mahomes of the Chiefs, the Chargers. I think there's a lot of places. Where do you want to see Tyreek Hill land, Lurch?
I haven't, I've become less of a Tyreek Hill fan because of some of the attitude
off the field
issues.
issues.
Yeah, some of the attitude and off the field stuff with him. But I as a football player, if I just put all that aside as a football player, other than the recent injuries that have really slowed him down, I mean, he is a game-breaking guy. Does he still have that in him? I don't know. But it would be, and I think it has to be on his radar. I don't remember all of the details of how it ended in Kansas City. But after, and remember, he was like very celebratory too, of like getting out of there and kind of being his own man in Miami. Like there was a lot of
away
that
from
kind of,
Patrick Mahomes to prove that he wasn't just a product.
This on my own. And frankly, in the immediate, when he first arrived in Miami,
he
did have a massive impact. He was like, who needs Mahomes? I'm Tyreek Hill, baby. And he had arrived and he was delivering for Miami Dolphin fans, the same kind of numbers that he was delivering in Kansas City with a terrific quarterback. So would he go back there? That would be absolutely intriguing. I think the most fascinating place would be if they would be willing to handle him. The Bills. The Bills need receivers.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
No, would he go to Buffalo?
Wow.
Does that suit Tyreek Hill? I don't know if Tyreek Hill's going to be willing to go to freezing cold weather, Buffalo, not the biggest market in the world, and all that is. It's a very particular type. But
interesting.
He's working with a great quarterback. They need a guy like him. That'd be deadly. That'd be deadly.
Here's an important,
assuming good health and assuming he still has the speed, because that's the thing that separated Tyreek Hill all these years is that amazing speed. If he's truly lost a step or two, he's just not the same guy because he's a diminutive guy. He's small. I mean, he doesn't have those kinds of attributes that would give you longevity regardless of you losing a step. Some guys can lose a step or two and they can still be extremely effective. We've seen that even in recent years to a certain degree with a guy like Travis Kelce, who clearly has dropped a step or two, but he still can be effective.
Right.
Tyreek Hill loses the speed. I don't know what he is anymore. What is he without the speed?
That's a good point.
He needs to have the speed. Go ahead.
Yeah. Real quick on Hep. Yes, the Bills are playing in their new stadium next season, which is this upcoming season. So, yes, the brand new stadium does open up later this year. So, yes. Here's another important note. So, the new league year kicks off on March 11th at 4:00. That is when free agents can sign with other teams. That's when trades can happen. However, there's a loophole that we should highlight here. The Dolphins releasing Bradley Chubb. The Dolphins releasing Tyreek Hill. They can sign with the team tomorrow. Like they circumvent the free agency rules because they were cut. So they're a free agent right now. They can sign with whoever they want. They don't have to wait for free agency. So that is the uniqueness of these guys becoming available, and perhaps many others. I'll keep an eye on the phone for any other breaking news that may be coming here. So that is very possible to come through here. And by the way, random, I just want to give a shout out before we lose it. Mark Sacchetti, perhaps the new nickname should be an ode to the radio days. He says, suggestion, the 1260 Originals Club. So maybe there's a radio tip of the cap we could do. We're in the digital world now, but maybe there's a radio tip that exists for the club. That
you can see behind me here, folks, the sign that I have that sits behind me here still has the radio station on it because that's where we were for years and years. So I am slowly but surely working on new signage for us for digital, but signs, in case you didn't know, are very, very expensive. So we're trying to, get to a place where we can do that. Maybe even work a deal out with one of our sponsors, and maybe it'll be a little combo sign, that have both the show's logo and maybe a sponsor logo for the right price, as they say. So negotiations ongoing on the signage situation. But nonetheless, that's the old, so they had 1260 Originals. What was that? The 1260 Originals?
Yeah, I just had it here from Mark Sacchetti. Yes, there it is. Suggestion, the 1260 Originals Club. So maybe interesting. All right, Lurch, let me, we've teased for 43 minutes. Let me get to the trade. So here's what
I didn't expect to speak about icicles. Then what else have we gotten into here? I don't know, a whole bunch of things.
I don't even know what we've gotten into, quite frankly. But yes, everything that we have gotten into. So, folks, here's what's going to happen. Again, Bill Barnwell, ESPN, put out an article this morning about trades that could happen this offseason. He predicted them, projected them, and said, hey, this team gets this team gets this. And what we're going to do is I'm going to show Lurch. Lurch has not seen these trades. He's about to see them for the very first time live on the show, and we're going to react to them. Good trade for this team, bad trade for this team, maybe bad trade for everybody, good trade for everybody. We will see. And again, this came out this morning. So we'll go through the local teams first, Lurch. We'll do some Jets, some Giants, some Bills, and then some bigger names that could be moved this offseason. So let's start Jets. Here is the Jets getting their QB1, according to Bill Barnwell. The Jets get Arizona Cardinals quarterback Kyler Murray in a 6th-round pick. The Cardinals get a 4th-round pick. So all it is a pick swap. That the Cardinals move up from the 6th to the 4th round. The Jets move back from the 4th to the 6th, and the Jets pick up a quarterback. This is cap-driven because of all the complications with this that they couldn't get more. What do you make of this? Kyler Murray to the Jets.
And I'm going to make of this in 2 pieces here.
Okay.
The first piece is just the value. Okay. We have a trade in front of us, and I see it. And my immediate gut reaction, and again, I have not prepped for this segment at all. I am literally just getting hit in the face with these things and having a gut reaction is, wow, you can get Kyler Murray by swapping a 4th and a 6th-round pick, and he can be in your quarterback room? I'm down with that. I'd do that in a second, if I were almost any team in the league right now. Okay, now you have to deal with the fact that Kyler Murray wants to and believes that he's a starting quarterback, and is he your starting quarterback? I'm not 100% convinced of that at the moment, but considering the options that are out there on the free market, the one thing I can tell you about Kyler Murray is this, okay? And this is why I still kind of like him, because I have just seen how talented he is, and he's not just a runner. He actually has a really good arm. I think his arm is very underrated. His problem has been the injuries and staying on the field. And also there's this question about like how dedicated to football is he, because he's like a video game rat, and there's been some weird stuff off the field about that, and is he a guy that's in the film room all that much and doing the prep that's necessary to become a first-rate NFL quarterback. So those are the worries. But in terms of value, BG, this is great value. I mean, I would absolutely make this trade based on value. But the question for the Jets here in this equation is Kyler Murray the guy you want running your ship? Or with the money that's involved, I know you don't have the money here in front of me, but I'm familiar enough to know that, he's still got some serious money. I'm assuming maybe the Cardinals would pick up some of that. I would assume. I don't know what the money piece of it is. But the fact of the matter is you're still going to have to pay him a fair amount.
Right.
And if you do, then are you going to make him your number 2 if you find something better, which is a possibility, is still a possibility based on the other guys that are out there. So, and then do you want to muddy those waters? So that's all the hazy stuff.
Yeah.
As a trade, looking at it on paper, I would absolutely do this. I don't know if I'm thrilled with Kyler Murray next, quarterback of the Jets.
Sure.
But at this value, I would make that trade.
So here's the thing, because again, to give my perspective as the Jets guy here in the room, is Kyler Murray better than anything the Jets have at quarterback? Yes. I mean, it's hard not to be, whatever name I put on the screen. But the fact of the matter is, here's a piece of the money that if the Cardinals traded him, here's how it would help the Cardinals. They would save $34 million on the cap in 2026 and $78 million in change in cash over the next 2 years if they trade Murray before June 1. Let's just stop there for a second. The Cardinals are more motivated to get rid of Kyler Murray than the Jets, am desperate enough to acquire him. In other words, if I'm the Jets, we go back to the trade here. I'm not giving up more. You Cardinals are giving me picks to take him off your hands. So I think this, even though a pick swap for a quarterback that is an upgrade, you think, a 6 to a 4, you're not losing a pick. You're just moving down a little bit. Why wouldn't you do that? I'm not saving the Cardinals. I'm not wearing a hero cape and saving Kyler Murray. If I don't take this deal, and Bill Barnwell, because it's a long column, you guys can go check it out. But in his explanation, he says there's not going to be a lot of suitors for Kyler Murray because of his massive contract, and thus there's a chance he could just get cut. So if he could just get cut, if I'm the Jets, and if I give anything to the Cardinals, that's better than him getting cut. So they would want anything. So if I'm the Jets, I'm being very aggressive here, saying, hey, buddy, you're eating almost all of the contract. I'll take a little off the top to help you out. But then you're giving me picks to help out in that little bit. Yeah. I'll take Kyler Murray off your hands. You are able to trade him instead of cutting him. And that's it. If I even want Kyler Murray, and I think there's a lot of options out there. So Kyler Murray would be an upgrade for the New York Jets at quarterback. No question about it. But again, I'm not giving up before. They're giving me a 6. They're like giving me a 3rd or something for me to take Kyler Murray off their hands. And obviously, the better pick they give me, like let's say they give me a 2nd-round pick, the more the contract I'm willing to eat if I'm the Jets. Everyone thinks the Jets are going to be terrible. They have the 3rd worst odds to win the Super Bowl this year. So buy my cap space from me. by giving me draft assets. And I think I can use to help the team.
Let me ask you the blunt question, though, on top of all of this. I don't disagree with what you're saying. I have always said to you, we have talked about deals for years and years and years in all sports. And I have always said, I hate when teams force themselves into a trade, especially with the player that the other team wants to get rid of. Screw that. Let the guy get the free agency and get the guy for nothing. And then you decide what he's worth, pay him what you believe he's worth, and you move on. And you give up no assets and you maintain your future. So I'm a big fan of that. Okay.
Yeah.
But again, I'm looking at these things like boom, face value, no discussion had. What do I think? But now hearing your point of view, I'm actually kind of a little bit in agreement with you that might be a better way to go for the Jets. But here's my blunt question.
Okay.
All this aside for a second.
Yeah.
Do you want Kyler Murray to be your quarterback of the Jets?
I need two questions answered. One, to your point, there's been a lot of questions about his work ethic. And that has dated to the beginning of his career. There was a study, the Cardinals initially, so he is in the middle of his $230 million contract. He has multiple years left on it. When he signed it, it leaked that inside the contract, there was a study clause that Kyler Murray had to meet. He had to study. They put a clause in his contract to make sure that Kyler studied X amount of hours a week. Why was that in there? And then it was met with so much controversy that they got bullied into taking it out of the deal, saying, so sorry, I don't know why that was in there. Because it leaked to the public and the public reamed the Cardinals. Like, why is this in here? Because that would suggest that he's not studying on his own. That of course he would study. Why wouldn't he study? The fact that you put it in the contract, you're making it so that he has to do it. What's the truth there? Is there any drama there? The Jets need to investigate. Here's the other thing. He apparently has a terrible reputation among teammates. Now, it's not all teammates, but Rich Cimini of ESPN, he was speaking with a Cardinals player about something else. And Rich, as they're having a conversation, just brings up Kyler Murray. Said, Kyler Murray could be a Jet this offseason. And this was the player's response, according to Rich Cimini. Oh, no. You don't want him. Absolutely not. And Rich was like, whoa, that's an interesting little nugget. And he left the player anonymous, of course, as he should. So is the teammate thing real? Is that just one teammate that had a bad relationship? Is the work ethic thing true? Is that right or wrong? So if the Jets can investigate that, and they're a multi-billion-dollar organization, how can they not? If they clear those things, yes, I'd take Kyler Murray. Our quarterbacks stink. So as long as you clear that out, that's interesting. Now, it doesn't seem to be a fit with Frank Reich. He apparently normally likes, if you look at his history, taller pocket passer quarterbacks. Kyler Murray is short and he's mobile, so it doesn't seem to fit what Frank Reich normally does offensively. But yes, I would take Kyler Murray as long as those things are cleared out.
Yeah. All right. Hey, and by the way, quick little tease here for folks. We have a great interview set up today. And if you are interested in membership and you see that scrolling along the bottom of our screen there and becoming part of the 12th Manchild, today's a great day to do it because after we wrap up today's show, shortly thereafter, we have a great interview scheduled. We are going to be talking with Ian O'Connor, the great columnist from The Athletic, who wrote a piece that was released in the last half day or so on the first 30 days of John Harbaugh's tenure as Giants coach.
Yeah.
And he got exclusive, he got some exclusive access.
Yeah, an interview. It's a one-on-one interview.
And got a lot of the deets and then put it together in a column, which I read earlier today. So he's going to join us. And if you are a member, you'll get access to that video. One of the perks of membership is that certain videos you get access to ahead of others. You'll get access to that video as soon as we finish up the interview and we're able to publish it. So you'll still get access if you're not a member, but it'll come later today. You'll get quick access to it, and it should be a very, very fascinating conversation, not only on the Giants, which I'm sure we'll have some focus on, but also there was some things said about the Jets in there. So both for Jets and Giants fans, there'll be some questions in there. There are some intriguing things that were put in that piece that we are definitely going to probe Ian O'Connor about in a little bit. So if you want to get access to that early, then you want to become a member right now. So just click on that membership and become part of the 12th Manchild. All right. Okay. So you really didn't answer my question. So I'm going back to my question before we move on to the next trade. You said, if then what, if I do this, well, you know what you know. My question to you is blunt. Do you want Kyler Murray as the next quarterback of the Jets? It's a yes, no question. There's no gray here. You got to give me a yes or no.
No.
Okay. It's a no right now for Boy Green. You could change your mind, Boy Green, this time.
Yeah.
Guys might disappear off the radar, and you go, he's the best guy. I think I do want him now. So who knows, like what's going on with Kirk Cousins and what's going on with all these other people that could be considered, or is there a trade in the works for something? So, okay, fair enough. That's where you stand at the moment. You don't have to commit to it for the rest of your life. All right. Just at the moment, where do you stand?
Yes.
All right, let's throw another trade up there. Let's go to work here.
But perfect. Oh, well, you just brought up Ian O'Connor and New York Giants talk. Let's throw a Giants coin. Let's wet your whistle, Giants boy. You got the Giants hat on. You got the Eli Manning jersey behind you. Here's a trade for the New York Giants. It's hitting the eject button on Kayvon Thibodeaux. You send him to the Baltimore Ravens in exchange for a 4th-round pick. So top 5 pick Kayvon Thibodeaux a few years into his career. See ya. You ship him off to Baltimore this offseason. Your reaction's what?
That's a hard no for me. A hard no. No way for a 4th-round pick. No way. I think even to just get me interested, it'd have to be a 2nd-round pick. I mean, I can't even take a 3rd round. It had to be a 2nd-rounder for me. This guy was picked 5th. I know you're going to have to pay him. The risk is too great. And here's the risk.
He has 1 year left on his deal, just to give the context.
The risk is you're going to have to pay him. All right. Yeah. And the risk. So number one, you're going to have to pay him. And the risk is if he gets on a good team, and the Ravens might be categorized as one of those teams with a lot of potential and already pretty good defense in place. And now they get another pass rusher here, potentially. If he gets really good for them, you just, what did we do again? It's just like Saquon Barkley all over again kind of thing. There definitely has to be some consideration by the Giants this offseason about Thibodeaux's future with the Giants and the possibility of a trade like this. But I'm not giving the guy away. There's just no way. I would hold out for better. I would hold out for more. And I also, you can't have the best of both worlds. Going to ask for the best of both worlds here. If we don't do anything here during the offseason and we get into the season and then we see Abdul Carter continuing where he left off at the end of last season, then it opens up the door to letting Thibodeaux go a lot earlier because you've got Carter on a lot cheaper for the you get the early years. He's only, being going into his 2nd year. Thibodeaux's going to have to get paid now or shortly thereafter. So you get a guy on the cheap who might ultimately even be better and a better fit for who you are. But I'm just still not sure about Abdul Carter. The back end of that season did not convince me. Like, oh yeah, here we go, baby. Number 3 pick? Number 3 pick. He's a number 3 pick. That kind of talent. Like, I got to see it. I mean, he's got that all those questions, missing the meetings and showing up late. No, I have a lot of questions about that guy right now. So one thing I know about Thibodeaux is he shows up to meetings on time. He does his stuff. He hasn't been as good as the pick warranted. There's no question about it in his early part of his Giants career, but he's still very young. And I still think he hasn't really realized his potential in the NFL. And I also think the Giants haven't schemed him well. And I'd be very, very fascinated to see how they can do it. But part of the problem, at least even into the end of last year, is that it was becoming a rotation and then Carter wasn't on the field regularly. And you can't do that to a guy that was the number 3 pick. And frankly, you can't do that to a guy that was the number 5 pick. So both of them should be out there playing if they are good as the pick warranted. But I'm holding out. No way. 4th rounder for Thibodeaux? No, thank you. No way. Yeah. No chance.
Yeah, I love, for people that may have forgotten, in 2022, I loved Kayvon Thibodeaux. I wanted the Jets to take him 4th overall. They took Sauce, and that worked out very well. But I wanted Kayvon Thibodeaux. And then we didn't get him, and then the Giants immediately got him, which made me go, because there's this guy I loved. Kayvon Thibodeaux is 25 years of age. He has 1 year left on his deal. It's his 5th year option that the Giants accepted. So he's under contract for the upcoming season. He's obviously eligible to discuss a long-term deal with the Giants or any other team that he gets traded to. And here's the production. So he has 4 years in the league. Here it is in chronological order. When he was a rookie, 4 sacks. His sophomore year, 11.5. His 3rd year, 5.5. Last year, 2.5. So, he has one outlier season, one outlier where it's 11.5. The rest of them is down here. So it would suggest with 3 of the 4 years being in the 2, 3, 4 sack range, that's where he will live and breathe. That's what history suggests.
Can I ask for another stat? Because sacks are meaningful, but I also think that sacks don't tell the whole story. And when I want to evaluate a defensive player on pass rushing ability, and that's what we're looking at here with this guy who's an edge rusher, I want to know about tackles for loss, and I want to know about pressures. Those 2 stats matter as much to me as sacks do. I could stomach a guy with 5 sacks on the season if he's getting a batch of tackles for losses and he's getting a lot of pressures. It just means, okay, he didn't take the quarterback down, but he affected the play, changed the player, in some cases even made it a negative play, which is the same thing as a sack. So I need to hear those,
I have those numbers
too.
Here we go.
To really evaluate whether he really was bad or not. Go ahead.
Okay, so I will list them off. You will hear sacks, tackles for loss, and quarterback hits, and then for the years that it happened. So here we go. 2022, as a rookie, he had 4 sacks. He had 13 quarterback hits, which are pressures. It's another version for pressures.
Yep.
And he had 6 tackles for loss. Okay. That's what he had as a rookie. Sophomore year, this was his career year. He had 11.5 sacks, 12 tackles for loss, 16 quarterback hits.
That's good.
Okay, that's the best year he had in every category. 2024, he had 5.5 sacks, 8 tackles for loss, 17 quarterback hits. That's 17
not
quarterback
bad.
hits, which is a career high. No,
not
bad at all.
See, so okay, his sacks are down. He was still doing a good job that year. Okay, that's not really a down year when you look at the compilation of those numbers, because I think all those numbers count. Okay. Last season.
And last season, which was his career worst season in basically every category, he missed the most amount of games last year. He only played in 10. He had 2.5 sacks, 5 tackles for loss, 9 quarterback hits. So those were the numbers, and they were down. I would just say this: if I'm the Giants, I'm not trading Kayvon Thibodeaux for a 4th-round pick.
No way.
Pass rushers are super valuable, and even though it only happened once with the 11.5 sacks, someone will bet on the upside and give me much more than a 4th-round pick.
Correct.
So, and again, to your danger, right? Let's say you trade Kayvon Thibodeaux and Abdul Carter's a bust. You just destroyed this defensive line, which was supposed to be Dexter Lawrence, Brian Burns, Abdul Carter, and Kayvon Thibodeaux. And now, because Kayvon, you're like, we think Abdul will be the guy. You trade him off. Abdul's bad. Now all of a sudden you're left with 2, and then 2 aging assets, because Dexter Lawrence and Brian Burns are only going to get older the more that you mess this up. So yeah, for those reasons, I'd be out. I love Kayvon Thibodeaux. If you're going to trade him, you got to do better than a 4th-round.
Way better. And here's the thing: can't you all right, a decision is going to have to be made on him probably sooner rather than later. But can't you ride this train another year with a new DC and a new head coach in place and see whether you can play these 3 guys together in different ways? You can in today's NFL, you can move guys around. You can line him up as a linebacker and then have him blitzing on the inside or the outside. You can make it miserable for the opponent. You tell me a team that ever says, I have too many pass rushers, I need to get rid of some of them. That doesn't exist in the NFL.
Of course
the
not.
more the merrier. If I could have 10 great pass rushers and I could roster them, I'd want 10 great pass rushers. So just, you know what I mean? Just
look at the Seahawks. They just won the Super Bowl with 1 million pass rushers.
Less than I drafted him for, I'm going to give him up just because I'm going to have to pay him at some point. And they're going to have the option for the franchise tag and all that kind of stuff as well, that they can hold on to him a little bit longer while they continue to evaluate Carter and decide what this defense looks like with this young core of the front 7.
Right. The only thing I wouldn't view it that way, you're like, less than what he got. I don't know if you're ever going to get a top 5 pick back for Kayvon Thibodeaux, but in the general sense, I get what you're saying. Again, with a 4th-round pick, no, sir.
I said my discussion starts in the 2nd round if I'm going to even let it go. It starts there.
Again, it's a tough conversation because Kayvon Thibodeaux is an interesting personality, and it's been up and down with some of the numbers. So I get it, but man, I think Kayvon Thibodeaux in the right situation can blow up, and we'll see if that's certainly the case.
And the last thing on this, here's the beauty of this.
Yeah.
Do we not have injuries in the NFL? Did your team
of course
have players get hurt? Did my team have players get hurt?
They had a lot of guys get hurt.
Did the 49ers have players get hurt? Okay.
They did.
Injuries are part of football. Why the heck wouldn't you want a guy as a 3rd wheel, that could immediately come in and be a 2nd wheel or a 1st wheel off of your bench if one of the front 2 guys gets hurt, which happens all the time in sports. You say we got 2 good ones already. We don't need them. We've got Burns and we've got the youngster Abdul Carter, and we don't really need. He's a piece we don't need. Really? Until someone gets hurt, and then he's the piece you desperately need. He's the piece that keeps the team together and becomes the glue of that defense, because you don't take a huge step down when you bring a guy like him into the fold. So it's just going to take a lot for me to want to get rid of that guy this season. I don't want to see him go anywhere. I want to see the Giants extend this relationship longer, vet it all before a decision is made. I just don't think it's a time for a decision on this one right now, unless it's unless it's just something you can't turn down. That's it.
All right, let's get the third New York team in. Then, like I said, we'll
Okay.
sprinkle around with what we have before we have our, Connor interview coming up. The Buffalo Bills. People mentioned it. Ooh, Tyreek Hill. Lurch even mentioned it. Tyreek Hill, Buffalo, wide receiver, Josh Allen. Get him a toy. Well, we'll get him a toy, but not Tyreek Hill. How about a potential trade with the Jacksonville Jaguars? The Buffalo Bills acquire Brian Thomas Jr. They flip Keon Coleman after what just transpired with the ownership group. And there's some pick swapping happening here. So let's get it all out straight. Buffalo would receive Brian Thomas Jr. and a 5th-round pick. The Jacksonville Jaguars are going to get Keon Coleman and a 1st-round draft choice. Your immediate reaction is what, Lurch?
Wow. My immediate reaction is, do I trust BTJ?
Yes.
Boy, out of that rookie season, I was like, this guy's good. He's
Let's get the numbers out there. 100%. Brian is 23. Okay, BTJ is 23 years old, and he will be 23 when the season starts. Here are his numbers from his first season, which, by the way, he was a Pro Bowler. 87 catches, 1,300 yards, and 10 touchdowns. I mean, they were marvelous. But this year, everything fell apart. 48 catches, 700 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And apparently there was a bad rub between him and Liam Cohen, which led to some trade conversations ahead of the deadline. So what's the truth? Is the first year the truth? Is the second year the truth? Will the real Brian Thomas Jr. please stand up?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, he not only did he lose his connection with his quarterback last season, but he was dropping balls. Like, he was getting hit right in the mitts and doink. It was like, what happened to this guy? He was, as a rookie, he had glue hands. He went from glue hands to rubber tree hands. I mean, I was like, what is happening with this guy? So the more I watched him this past season, the more unsure I became about whether that rookie season was just an anomaly, whether it was just a fluke. Right? You just talk a little bit that with Thibodeaux, right? With like 4 seasons to look at. Hey, it was that second season, that sophomore season when he had all those sacks and had all those pressures. Was that an anomaly or not? Right. And now I think it's a much smaller sample size. And now we're looking at a guy. And you're going to give up a 1st-rounder where you can just go get your own guy and not have to worry about baggage. A guy whose contract you'll have control of longer. Okay.
Yeah. Correct.
And you're also throwing in another player too who has not looked good. All right. But can he figure it out? I don't think Keon Coleman's going to figure it out, but so maybe I shouldn't worry about that. Maybe it's just more about, do I want to give up a 1st-rounder for Brian Thomas? That's really what this deal is a 1st-rounder for Brian Thomas. Do you trust Brian Thomas to be your wide receiver 1 because you're giving up a pick that likely you could go pick a potential wide receiver 1?
Yeah,
I wonder. Did you do it? I don't know if I do it. I'm really hesitant to do it.
Well, I'm on the other side. If I'm Jacksonville, do I do it? Do I give up on Brian Thomas Jr.? And here's the thing. And again, it goes back to what you said about Kayvon Thibodeaux, right? You would get a chance at a mulligan. You get your 1st-round pick back. It's not the same, of course, right? Bills pick late in 1st round, so it's not an exact 1st-round switch. But you get a 1st-round pick back. You get a project wide receiver who is highly touted, that if you felt pretty good about Keon Coleman, you get that. I don't love the pick swap if I'm Jacksonville. So, okay, I get the 1st, but I have to give up a 5th. I don't love that I have to do a swap. If I'm going to trade Brian Thomas Jr., I would get rid of the 5th-round pick and give me Keon Coleman and a 1st and take the 5th off if I'm Jacksonville. And then I'm still thinking about it. I'm not sure if I run that card up because of what Brian Thomas Jr. showed me as a Pro Bowler. Of course, that was pre-Liam Cohen. Liam Cohen was not the coach when Brian Thomas Jr. was putting up those stats. For Buffalo, though, it makes sense. Your time is now. You need to hit while the iron's hot. And Brian Thomas Jr. not only could help you in the immediate, he's 23. He could be with Josh Allen for the next decade. Like, that's the thing that if you're a Bills fan to get excited about, and he has so much potential. I would hate this as a Jets fan because I don't want to see Bills get better, but Brian Thomas Jr., what a talented kid.
You question the Jags, but here's why I wouldn't hesitate if I were the Jags. I'd get a 1st-rounder for this guy,
Yeah.
Even if it's a low 1st-rounder, which is what the Bills pick would be. You just drafted Travis Hunter.
You're missing picks. Right, because
personally, I think is going to be part of the future of your wide receiving core. I know they want to play him 2 ways, and he wants to play 2 ways. I think ultimately he becomes a wide receiver. I'm not sure, but I just kind of feel that. Parker Washington emerged for them last year as a young guy, and they went out and got Jacoby Myers, who's completely changed their wide receiving core and giving them that kind of steady veteran guy with good hands, good red zone guy. So, like, what's Thomas's role now? Like,
hey, by the way, real quick,
Patrick on that roster. I mean, like, they have guys that can get it done, and their quarterback has finally turned into the guy they thought he would, at least for a season. We'll see if he can keep that going. So they don't need Brian Thomas, and they can get a first rounder. Like, I'm making that deal if I'm the Jaguars. I don't need to worry about whether he becomes a star somewhere else because I got my own stars over here, and I got a first-round pick that I can do something with and fill another need on my team.
Here's the update. This came out from a couple days ago. According to reports, Jacksonville is actually going to make Travis Hunter a full-time corner with a role at wide receiver that just came out a few days ago, which, by the way, for Jacksonville, you traded all those assets up to get a two-way player, and you got a half-injured season where you found out he basically can only not be a two-way player. That's devastating for Jacksonville, although they had all the success that they had. So still, yeah, which is too bad because that would have been a cool thing to see in 2026 or 2025 to see a player go two ways and play the amount of snaps he did at Colorado. Would have been cool as a casual football fan to see, but it seems like that's going to be tough. So interesting. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad they made a decision on them one way or the other. I thought they might go the other way, but you know what? Based on what they have, I just went through their receiving core. You know what? They'd probably be better served.
Parker Washington
being potentially a lockdown corner. I always thought when I watched him in college that he was a little bit better defender than he was a wide receiver. Like he was kind of raw. I'm talking about Travis Hunter as a receiver compared to the way he was as a DB. So I think this is actually a wise choice by the Jags. And I think that cements who he is going forward. And the two-way thing, like I said, you can use him in gimmick situations and stuff. We've seen that time and time again. You could use the guy down in the red zone, but to truly play him both ways, especially at his size, isn't realistic. So that it doesn't shock or surprise me. And I'm glad that the Jags are making some sense of this. That makes a lot of sense.
All right, let's go through a couple more trades, and then we'll have Ian O'Connor. And again, if you are a member, just to reiterate that, if you are a 12th Manchild minimum or higher, you will have access to that interview before anyone else. We plan on recording that in about 45 minutes, and as soon as that is done, I will start uploading it to YouTube. If you're a member, you will get to see that interview. If you're just part of the public, you won't get to see that interview until later this evening. So just keep that in mind, folks, as we're going through this process. Again, I'll sprinkle in a few more trades here. One of the biggest names that could be moved this offseason and is expected to, Lurch, is Max Crosby. What about this trade for Bill Barnwell? The Raiders get wide receiver DJ Moore and a first-round pick. Bears get Max Crosby, the talented pass rusher, and a fifth-round pick. What do you think about this move?
I still like Crosby a lot. I think he's a gamer. His moxie is fantastic. I still think he's got several good seasons left in him. I think he'd be great in a Bears uniform. I think he'd be great in the cold. I think he'd be a good image guy for them. Sure. Would I give up a first rounder? DJ Moore, I know there was a point at which he was a really good player. I'm not sure if he is anymore. So again, this is to me a first rounder for Max Crosby. That's what this trade is. It's a first
and that's not enough for me. If I'm the Raiders, and this was even talked about with Jay Glazer, there's a chance that people say that Max Crosby could get what Micah Parsons got and more, which was 2 number ones and a player. One first-round pick, that's not enough for me. If I'm the Raiders, I'm trading Max Crosby. It's highest bidder, baby. And while my wide receiver room sucks, so DJ Moore would be an upgrade. Like, you got to give me a lot more than 1 first-rounder. Start the conversation with 2 first-rounders, and then we'll see where we go from there. Max Crosby's
on the Bears. I make this trade in a heartbeat. So, yes, on the Bears front, I agree with you. Why would the Raiders do this? Would the Raiders do this? What is it going to take? But they've got, it appears, a very disgruntled guy. And I don't know if they can solve this or not. I don't know if a meeting with Tom Brady or whoever they're going to send in as some kind of diplomat is going to get this done. They literally, and good for this guy for standing up for competitive football. Right. They literally tried to remove the competitive juice from a guy that has done nothing but compete for them for the last, how many years has he been with the Raiders? Forever. It feels like.
I'll look that up.
I'm just so to me, it's awesome that he is standing on the high ground on this one and has really called them out on it. You know, I just love it. I just love it. That's what should be happening in the NBA right now, right? We're talking to Sean Devon.
He's been there 7 years, by the way, 7 seasons. This upcoming season will be his 8th.
He's just given his blood, sweat, and tears for 7 lousy seasons with this team, and then you send him home, knowing the competitor that he is.
Disrespectful.
It's better off for you. I love that he stood up to that. Like I was saying, we had that conversation with Sean Devaney on Friday, our NBA insider, about tanking in the NBA and what the Utah Jazz have been up to, literally benching their guys in the middle of the fourth quarter to lose games. I'm glad, by the way, that Adam Silver and it seems like the NBA is going to crack down on this right away and big time. They need to really, really crack the whip on this thing. But back to this story here. If I'm the Bears, I do this in a heartbeat. Heartbeat for the Bears. I don't know why the Raiders would do this, but they might have to do something like this because it seems like Max doesn't want to be there.
Right. Again, you've nailed the evaluation of my mind. Bears, of course, I do this. Yes. That's where do I sign up? Raiders. I like the Bears have a wide receiver logjam with DJ Moore and Luther Burden and Roma Dunze. Like they would be, this would be helping the Bears out. Like, sweet, help us figure out this wide receiver drama that we have. So no, I think it would cost more. And again, I think Max Crosby can legitimately be moved this offseason, but it's got to be a higher price point for me. Again, ESPN just said over the weekend that they believe, think about this, Lurch. There are 32 teams in the NFL. ESPN reports that 20 of the 32 teams will be in on the Max Crosby sweepstakes. 20 of 32 teams will be talking trade? How in the hell is it only one first-round pick? That's not enough. Come on.
Yeah, you're probably right. You definitely throw this one to the Wolves and let them eat each other up and figure out.
There you go.
Figure out what the best offer is. So absolutely.
All right, here's another trade.
Crosby, though. That'd be a really good fit.
Yeah, for sure. Right. He'd be in a much better situation of winning and all that. And he's only been to the playoffs once, so I really want it for Max.
Yes.
Here's a trade. This player's 1,000% getting traded this offseason. But to where is where we could debate. A.J. Brown. Okay. Broncos get wide receiver A.J. Brown and a 5th-round pick. They send the Eagles cornerback Riley Moss, who's had some really good years for Denver in this great defense, a 2nd-round pick and a 5th-round pick. So basically, they switch 5th-round picks. It's a year apart. They get a 2nd-round pick, and they get a very nice player in Riley Moss. But obviously, he's not anywhere near the level of A.J. Brown. So what do you think of this?
Ooh, wow.
A lot of layers.
I don't disagree with you. I think the Eagles have burned the bridge here. And,
I think that's over.
No, they really should try to keep him. They're crazy to let this guy go. He's still got juice. He's still good in the right offense. I could see him absolutely flourishing. Would that offense be the Broncos?
Right.
And
here's some details, by the way.
2nd-rounder.
Man. Riley Moss is 25 years old, and he's again a very nice player this past year. But he only has 1 year left on his deal, so you're going to have to pay him. He was drafted in 2023, so he's got 1 year left on his deal. So that's a pay situation you'd have to approach on top of the picks, but just to sprinkle in the info.
This is another one of those split deals for me, like some of the others that we've looked at. If I'm the Broncos, I'm doing this in a heartbeat.
Yes.
If I'm the Eagles, I don't think I'm making this trade. It's just not enough juice for me there.
Right. I think someone's going to give up a first. Yeah. Like, I think New England and Mike Vrabel would be desperate to give up a first after just missing out in the Super Bowl. I think Buffalo, if they didn't get in this other Brian Thomas Jr. trade, I think they'd give up a first for A.J. Brown. So we're dancing around here with the Riley Moss and this and this to avoid giving up a first. I think if I'm the Eagles, any trade has to include at least a first-round pick, and then let's talk what else. Yeah, I'm with you.
Wow.
So there you go. So, but you do agree that you think A.J. Brown's getting traded this offseason, but just aware is what we got to figure out.
I do. He just, all the signs are he just doesn't want to be there. He doesn't like the pairing with his quarterback. He doesn't seem to like the coach all that much. It's just got the writing on the wall. It's a shame, but it just hasn't been it was a fit for what, a season, maybe a season and a half, and then it just all went south. It got ugly. Right? Wasn't he the one reading the book on the sideline? Right?
He was reading the book. Inner Excellence, I believe, is what the book is called. So shout out to whoever wrote that book to get all the extra
going on during games with this guy. That's just not good. That's just not good.
All right, let's go with the quarterback splash. And this one I haven't heard a lot, but it's intriguing. Let's throw this one up.
All right.
Mac Jones to the Minnesota Vikings. Okay. The Vikings should also get a 3rd-round pick. The 49ers this is where we get funky, so keep up with me here on all the pieces. The 49ers get a 2nd-round pick. They get a conditional 5th-round pick. they get a conditional 3rd-round pick. And basically what conditions mean on picks means it could be even better depending on how Mac Jones plays, or it could be performance-based. It could be playing time-based. So like the 5th could be a 4th. The 3rd could be a 2nd. It could move up, increase in value depending on Mac Jones' results. So a lot of activity here, but the Vikings getting Mac Jones to compete, of course, with J.J. McCarthy. And man, with that Kevin O'Connell system, this may be, if I'm Mac Jones, I love this turn of chapter in this story. That's for sure.
All right, here's my take on this one.
Okay.
I don't think the 49ers are going to deal. I think they
no matter what.
Well, not no matter what. I'll give you the
Okay.
realm in which under which they would.
Right.
All right. But in a deal like this, number one, the 49ers, they have the perfect situation. They have Purdy, and then they have this guy. Look what happened last year. Purdy goes down, this guy gets in. They still survive it. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So they have what every team wants, the capable backup, the guy that fits the system, goes right in there, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you're Mac Jones. I mean, I guess every quarterback wants to be a starting guy, but I told you the best job in the NFL is that clipboard. That clipboard holder is the best job in the NFL. You get paid and you don't have to take the hits. You get in there only when it's necessary. Like, oh man, that is the greatest job ever. Let me sign up to be a backup quarterback in the NFL for the rest of my life. I'll do my 15 years, get my pension. What a great life. I'll have played a bit. Maybe I've had some glory, but I don't got to risk mind, body, and soul every single week on that gridiron, which is a brutal thing. Okay. It's a rough place to be week in and week out and survive and then have a nice buoyant life afterwards. So, and I just, the system, everything fits them. Now, this is going from one good system to another good system. So like you said, from a Mac Jones perspective, sure, I'd be open to that because it might truly be a quarterback competition with J.J. McCarthy. So I don't think the Niners will do it. The only way I think the Niners do it is you erase 2nd-round pick there next to 2026 and say 1st-round pick. If that's on the table, all right, then I think you make that deal. But I don't think the 49ers, I think, will find somebody desperate enough, Boy Green, whether it's during this offseason, whether it's during the early part of next season when someone goes down, that will give up a 1st-round pick for Mac Jones. So I am holding out for a 1st-round pick from the 49ers. Wow. That's the only way in which I give up Mac Jones at this particular moment in time.
It's crazy how timing works. The Patriots traded away Mac Jones when they gave up on him to the Jaguars for a 6th-round pick, right? It stinks. Nothing. We've given up. 100%. Yep. See you later. Backup Trevor Lawrence. And then he showed up and he had to appear for a few games when Trevor got hurt. He ends up in San Francisco, goes to the quarterback factory. And now we're like, well, if you don't have a 1st-round pick ready for old Mac attack, leave. And I'm not saying you're crazy. I'm just saying, like, wow, look how quickly perception can change on players. It's wild. It would be interesting because in this situation, there'd be a pick swap happening here. So you'd want that to sort of elevate to that point. I see that some Jet fans in the audience want Mac Jones. My problem is Kyle Shanahan ain't coming with him. So I'm concerned that we get a different version of Mac Jones and what is available. And you're paying a premium price. He's going to be one of the most expensive trade quarterbacks, as we will see as we continue on with this list of things that are available. But again, if I'm Mac, going to Minnesota would be a great landing spot. This may benefit both teams. They can get a flurry of picks. But if you're the 49ers, it goes back to what you just said, Lurch. Brock Purdy's not been able to stay healthy. Right. If they don't have Mac Jones last year, they don't make the playoffs. Right. They don't have any success whatsoever because, with all due respect, Adrian Martinez, former Jets quarterback, would have been in those games, not Mac Jones. And I think the 49ers lose those games, with all due respect to Adrian. And then we're not talking about Kyle Shanahan as a coach of the year candidate. Mac Jones saved his tuchus. So,
well, here's the thing. Yeah. I mean, we saw it. This is Sam Darnold on repeat, just like rewind and hit repeat. Mac Jones has now kind of rebuilt himself around the Kyle Shanahan experience and the Kyle Shanahan system.
Sure.
So now he's in a position potentially to be a starter again. If Mac Jones is smart, he's going to pick a place like the Vikings that has a similar or a really true system, because that's he's literally following it. If he goes to the Vikings, he's literally following in Darnold's footsteps.
That's true. I didn't think about it like that.
Darnold rebuilt himself. People might not recognize that. They see that Darnold rebuilt himself in Minnesota. I would strongly argue against that and say Sam Darnold actually rebuilt himself as the backup in San Francisco.
A year to watch.
And that's what got him right to go to Minnesota, work with another quarterback whisperer, get good, and now go to Seattle and now become his own man. That journey is fascinating, but that journey has worked. I think Mac Jones needs to take a page out of Sam Darnold. So this would be lovely for Mac Jones, as you said. I just think that the Niners can hold out for a first rounder. I do think that there will be a point in which there will be a team desperate enough to give up a first rounder to get Mac Jones on their roster.
And by the way, if it is, I hope it ain't the Jets. With all due respect to old back attack there, as well. Yeah, that's a little too pricey for me. Ooh. All right, we'll go through a couple more, Lurch, and then we'll put a bow on this puppy and get us ready for our next interview. Now, this quarterback name, I'm not sure if you're even going to know who it is, Lurch. He's a sneaky guy. He's a guy that your buddy Alon loves. Loves. Okay, a projected trade here. Tanner McKee to the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the Eagles get a pair of third rounders, a third rounder this year and a conditional third rounder the following year, which again could increase based on how he performs. Tanner McKee is a former Stanford quarterback. He has been developing behind the scenes with the Eagles. Yeah. He's shown random spurts in preseason where he's looked sort of interesting. And I mean, his story, with all jokes aside, is very incredible. He overcame cancer, and it's a magical story. And there's a long piece written on The Athletic about it, and it's very moving. And he has 1 year left on his deal. The Eagles paid Jalen Hurts $250 million. So Tanner McKee, it makes sense for the Eagles to trade him as he's an expiring contract to someone. If someone wants to take a swing on a tall, talented, big arm quarterback. Now, it's a risk. We've never seen Tanner McKee perform in the regular season consistently. He only has like 3 starts in his career. But a lot of people, like your buddy Alon, are intrigued by Tanner McKee. What say you about this situation?
I like this trade. I'd make this trade if I'm the Steelers, and I'd make this trade if I'm the Eagles. I think this is actually helps both sides. I think the Steelers are inevitably in a search. We'll see what's going to happen with old man Rodgers. I can't imagine he's going to come back there, but I don't know. Maybe with Mike McCarthy there, it's intriguing enough. He doesn't have to learn a new system or anything. I mean, it's not going to be a lot of work for Aaron. It's really if the battered body is willing to take one more season, does he think the Steelers could do something, more than what they did last year? I don't know. I think Rodgers is crazy if he comes back another year, but he's just got enough ego to want to do it. So he might do it. But this is a good trade for the Steelers because this is a guy, regardless, that's in development. He's a guy that could turn into something, and you're giving up a couple of thirds for it. I think that's well worth it. So I would make this trade if I were either side. I think both sides benefit here.
It feels a little pricey to me. Tanner McKee came into the league as a 6th round pick, and I get it. 3 + 3 = 6. I learned that at SUNY Oswego at some point. I get it. 2/3, 3 is 6. I learned that math at one point, but boy, that feels for a guy that, while he's making nothing for money, which makes you feel good, he's making like $1 million this year. But if I'm giving up 2 threes, I want to sign him immediately. I don't want to give up 2 threes and then he plays like an all-star and now I got to pay him $60 million. I'm trying to sign him to a team-friendly deal immediately. If this is part of the package, I'm giving up this kind of price. And I know a lot of Jet fans want Tanner McKee. It's just a big risk. He's tall, he's interesting, and maybe it's worth a dart throw. 2 threes. Ooh, that's a little pricey.
Maybe you could offer a 3 and a 5 or 3 and a 6.
Yeah, maybe you could work it.
3 is part of the deal. You getting a 3, you get 2 threes. Yeah, okay. But I think the Steelers are pretty desperate to figure out their quarterback situation.
That's true.
Third round picks, you can get them back in other ways. Sometimes it's not an impossible situation. So I would make that deal. Either side, I would make that deal.
All right. Now, there is sometimes ripple effects, Lurch, from making decisions. And once you make one decision, it sometimes affects other people. There are rumors that the Colts could franchise tag Alec Pierce, their talented wide receiver, former Cincinnati product.
Yep.
If they do, people say that means Michael Pittman Jr., their other talented wide receiver, could be on the block to be traded. So here's a wide receiver trade swap. The Panthers get Michael Pittman Jr. in his 7th, and the Colts get Xavier Legette, former first rounder, and a 5th round pick. So late round pick swaps, they're just swapping out wide receivers. Yeah.
What's the deal with Pittman? What were you saying about Pittman there? Why am I?
Because
for Legette.
Right.
What's
so
for a pick swap
Colts
here?
cap situation is about to get real hairy. They have Daniel Jones to pay. They have Alec Pierce to pay. There's rumors that they will franchise tag Alec Pierce. That is for $28 million is the wide receiver tag. If they do that, all of a sudden they're investing $28 million in Pierce, whatever it is for Pittman, and now that's a lot of money at wide receiver, and they got to sign Daniel Jones. So
Yeah.
the Pierce decision could affect the Pitman future. By the way, if I'm the Jets, I'm getting all over Michael Pittman Jr. if he's available for this. So sign me up. And Xavier Legette obviously is super talented, but he's been hit or miss. And now they have Jalen Coker. They have Thibodeaux McMillan. So they got a lot of really up-and-coming wide receivers. So Xavier Legette's time has sort of gone up and down here during his brief tenure in the National Football League.
To me, this is a good trade for the Panthers. I mean, because they get a veteran guy to go with some of that young talent that they have. I think that balances the scale a lot. I mean, they've given up another receiver in their receiver room who becomes expendable when you bring Pitman in. As you said, they have other young assets, and it's a fifth for a seventh. So I like this trade for the Panthers. I don't know if I love it for the Colts, but if the Colts truly are in a situation like this where they need the cap save, then maybe ultimately, even though I think they lose on the deal, maybe they gain because they clear out some cap money that obviously makes them more flexible going forward with, as you said, all the guys they have to take care of, including their quarterback. So I think that's a deal that makes sense. I really like it for Carolina, though. I think they get a guy who I think is a pretty solid guy. Again, health a little questionable with him from time to time, but he's a veteran, solid wide receiver. I like Michael Pittman.
Lurch, let's throw that trade aside. That doesn't matter anymore. What matters is Jamie the FedEx guy just officially became a member.
Hell yeah.
He has joined the Army.
FedEx man. Welcome to the Army. You are now officially a member of the 12th Manchild. You can call yourself. You can get the gear now, which, by the way, if you missed this, we talked about this early in the show. I'm pretty sure, I'm feeling pretty confident, Boy Green, that by Wednesday, we will be able to put our store out there publicly for public consumption, and you can get something that says 12th Manchild right on it. Pretty cool.
Not only did Jamie become a member, he didn't become a 12th Manchild. He didn't become a diehard. He just became a Hall of Famer. Wow.
God, he became our first Hall of Fame member. Bravo, Jamie. And I know what that's all about, Boy Green. I know what that's all about. Okay.
Is it this?
If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. What?
Yeah. Ooh,
baby. So, wow. We just got hit in the face with the Hall of Fame member. Wow.
So part of our Hall of Fame membership situation is one of the biggest perks. Okay.
Yeah.
Perhaps the most motivating factor is we are going to create a fantasy league exclusively for the first 10 people who become Hall of Fame members. Right. So you essentially become indoctrinated into our exclusive Man-Child Show with Boy Green digital, newly forming fantasy league.
Well, let me say this.
Wants desperately in on that. Desperately.
Right. Maximum 10. So if we get 10 people,
me and you,
12.
10 others, it's going to be a 12-team league. So you have to be one of the first 10. So Jamie becomes the third member of our league now, and we're trying to fill out that league, hopefully to 12 people, if we find 12 individuals who want to jump in this deep end of the pond with us and compete with us. And compete
9 more individuals, right? Because me and you are going to be in it too.
Right, and compete with us to get that championship belt around your waist if you win the league. Yeah, baby.
So if we don't have that many, as long as it's an even number, we will still have the league. So Jamie, you are not out
12.
of not being in.
Yeah,
I want 12 too. I want 12
have
people.
3.
Yes.
All right. Yeah. That means we need 9 more members at the Hall of Fame level. Plus, you get all the great perks. You're getting a whole bunch of perks as a Hall of Fame member as well. You get the early videos, you get the emojis, you get all the things that the other people get, and some bonus perks.
Yeah,
so there you go.
Which is pretty cool.
Congrats,
wow, and more. Our number 1 Austrian Jet fan just gifted a MC Show digital membership, baby.
Bravo.
Hell yeah.
There we go. That membership, by the way, in our audience went to Slammin' Sammy Joe. You are now a member to the Manchild Show at Boy Green digital YouTube membership group, a.k.a. you are now a 12th Manchild. Jamie, you're a Hall of Famer. And Slammin' Sammy Joe, you're now a member to the 12th Manchild. Wow, what a great surge there to wrap up the show, Lurch.
And only you and I know this, but I'll let the cat out of the bag here kind of publicly, okay?
Okay.
So, Austrian Jets fan, first of all, we thank you. And you're just such a generous human being and appreciate it very much. And I know you're very generous to Paul's show as well in the morning. So it's wonderful to have you in both places and for you to be part of this new venture that we've taken on now for the past 7 months. Austrian won one of these pint glasses
Yeah,
when we had a little giveaway and said, hey, the first 5 people jump in and we'll give away pint glasses. So I've already mailed out those pint glasses, and we already have a picture of him. You can go look on our YouTube page, and we have a picture of him and several others, Old Yank and several others, holding up their pint glass that they received from us for jumping in on membership when we opened up our membership world.
Right.
Then last week we did I had a couple. I was like, hey, I got a few more of these pint glasses that I'm willing to ship out to people. We'll do it for the next 3 people. And immediately Austrian jumps in and gives somebody a membership. And so it was my job, right, to, again, guarantees, right? We do the things that we're supposed to do. All right, send him another pint glass. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to do something a little different here for Austrian, since he's so much always like right up front, so generous, so right there. I'm not just going to send him a pint glass. I'm going to send him something very personal. So I did. So I had something made. Only you and I know about it, Boy Green. I talked to you a little bit about it off air. All right. And it is on the way to him as we speak. Okay. So it will be there in another week or so. It takes a little while for something to get to Austria, but it'll be there within the next 7 days, if not less. I've been getting daily reports on it from all my little shipping people. And I hope he likes it. So Austrian, there's a special gift, not another pint. I figured, let me not send you a repeat pint glass.
Yeah, right.
Let me do you a little bit better here. So I'm very curious when you get it, Austrian, what you think. All right. And by all means, certainly feel free to take a picture and so on and so forth. I don't care about that. What I care most about is that you know that you're appreciated.
Thank you.
And this is a kind of a cool, neat thing that we decided to do. And I just thought this is a way better idea than just sending him another pint glass. So you got something special coming on the way. And I'm very curious to see how much you like it.
100%. So Austrian, thank you. Thank you, Jamie the Facts Guy. Let me answer this question because I'm sure we get this question all the time. FZod to God 36 says, how do I become a Hall of Fame member? I'm glad that you asked, buddy, because a lot of people.
Another guy in this league.
Maybe.
Sleeping now. Holy
Perhaps.
crap.
Possible.
Wow.
So again, we're streaming live in 3 different places. At MC Show Digital, at Boy Green 25 on YouTube, and then also on my Twitter account, at Boy Green 25 as well. So, folks, go over to this YouTube link on your screen. So, FZod to God, go to this YouTube channel. So, look it up on your phone, your tablet, however you're watching the show. Jump over to that stream if you're watching on the Boy Green channel right now. Hop on over here. First off, subscribe if you're not already subscribed. That'd be great. But you should see, if you click into this video right now, reacted to ESPN NFL trade predictions, blah, 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 blah. You see that video. It should show live because we're live right now. This conversation's happening right now at this moment in time. You click that video, and as you're watching, you should see a big black button, although it could be a variety of colors, I guess, depending on where you're watching it. But it will say join right under the video. You click that. A bunch of membership levels will pop up. 12th Manchild, diehards, and then you'll see a Hall of Fame level. The Hall of Fame level is where our fantasy football private league will exist with other Hall of Famers. It'll include myself, it'll include Manchild, right now it has Jamie, and others that join us over the coming months. Of course, this fantasy football league will start in the fall, and we'll do a draft and all kinds of fun stuff. That is how you join. Join button on our video, again, at that link, youtube.com/@MC Show Digital. Hit the join button, Hall of Fame level, and you will be in the running for our fantasy football class. It will be a maximum of 12 teams. So we have 9 spots left. We won't take any more than 9. So if you're beyond that point, I'm sorry, you're screwed. But as long as you're one of the first 9 people, you're in. If the league is only 6 people, then we will do a 6-person fantasy football league, and we'll do it in that fashion. But again, we'll have a maximum of 9 spots left coming up here, which will be, again, a 12-person league. So FZod to God understands, gives us the emoji, and we'll see if he jumps in the group, or anyone else for that matter that chooses to join the show.
All right, fantastic. We'll see if we can fill out this fantasy league. It's coming together, Paulie. It's coming together.
Yeah, this would be awesome. So again, another plug, folks. We have to dip because we have another interview with the famous Ian O'Connor. I have several of his books behind me. He wrote that Aaron Rodgers book. We did a full deep dive on Boy Green Daily a couple of years ago when he wrote that book ahead of the 2023 season. So I'm very friendly with Ian. We're about to record that interview at 1:00. If you are a member at any level, Hall of Fame, 12th Manchild, diehard. So thank you to Jamie for joining that, and Austrian to that membership that was gifted out. You people can watch that interview as soon as we finish it. It'll be available for you For the public, it'll be available later this evening. So again, one of the many perks of being a YouTube membership level here on the Manchild Boy Green Digital.
All right, so it's going to be great. We're going to do a really cool interview with Ian, a lot of Giants questions, but also some interesting Jets intrigue in that interview as well. So you Jet fans in the audience, you might want to see what's up with Ian and the Jets. What's the connection there? And of course, Ian is columnist for The Athletic and one of the really good NFL insiders, particular when it comes to the Giants. So on all things New York. So that's going to be a fascinating conversation, and we're doing that in just a little bit. All right, as always, appreciate you folks more than you can possibly imagine. Hopefully, I've got news for you on Wednesday for our live show about our new store opening up where you can actually buy a little bit of merch and have some fun being part of our army. So that's coming. I've been working on it for like 2 weeks. It's been a lot of labor to get this thing set up, but I want to make sure it's set up right. Looks like we're going to have 4 inaugural products that you can purchase. You can purchase any one of them, all price points. All right. And it's going to be a lot of fun. So we hope to unveil our little store on Wednesday morning if all goes well. So hopefully that comes your way. And like you said, support us, become a member, or if you haven't already, subscribe to our channel. You can still support us that way as well. Thanks to everybody for joining us today. We'll see you live again on Wednesday. Ian O'Connor interview coming out later today. If you're a member, you're going to get it as soon as we finish, right around 1:45, 2 o'clock today. All right, that'll do it for the Manchild Show with Boy Green live here on a Monday. We'll see you Wednesday live. Take care.